Today in Better Picks, in just a few clicks, we're going to be looking at 3-point lighting. Okay, to start, the first light we want in our setup is our key lighting. Our key lighting is otherwise known as our main lighting. Key light, main light, same thing. I'm using here a very large light on a stand. I like my light to go a foot or so above the model's head. I don't like to be straight on. It creates a different shadow angle that doesn't mimic the sun. So I like to go a foot or two above on the subject. So I'll go up here about a foot or two above, and roughly the safe spot, the normal spot, and you can break these rules, about 45 degrees between me and the model. That's our nice 45-degree angle light. Then we can bring in a secondary light, which would be a light either off to the side, about on the opposite side, 45-degree angle or so. If you don't have a second light or an additional light, you can use a reflector. Typically, I like to use a reflector. So I'm using my large reflector. It's about a 6-foot reflector. And I'll put that off to the side a little bit, mimicking the fill light. The second light is the fill light. Now, the thing I like about reflectors is, for one, they don't cost as much. For two, they're easier to use. And what I'll find is someone has another light or flash. It's hard, even if you have different modifiers, to know how much is getting to which spot. You might be blasting them with the same amount of light. The nice thing about reflectors, you can't make this light brighter on the fill side. You can control the intensity by moving the reflector closer or further away, but you can't overpower. The main light will still be the main light, regardless of settings and modifiers, which can be kind of tricky when you start using several different lights. So I'm going to use the reflector. I'm going to move it about like this on Starla. You can see the difference on the shadows on her cheek, on her hair. It is significantly different on the piece. So let's go ahead and bring that in for a photograph. Looking right here. I'm also going to then add a third light. Now, there's a couple different varieties to this one. I'm bringing another flash behind her. Now, some people will move this flash off to the side in the same side as the main light, opposite of the fill light. They'll light this one up and bring it onto the side of the face. That helps add like a little sculpting, a little third dimension to your subject, but it's not necessarily has to be directly here. If you're doing a tighter shot, you could actually move the light behind the person, and then it's still not going to show up in the shot. But sometimes people don't like that being, if you're doing a full body or 3/4 body, it will show up in the shot, then you have to touch it out, then it's just a pain. So a lot of times people move to the side. So let's try one off to the side, and then we'll move one right behind. Looking here, Starla. I can see the reflector kind of coming off to the side. Let's move this called a backlight. Now, there's a difference here. We're going to add in a background light, which is technically 4 lights, and I said there was 3. Kind of like the 3 Musketeers. So a backlight is on the subject's back. A background light will actually be on the physical background. I'm going to put this onto the back, about like there. And you can see it's more subtle. You can see it definitely the hair, but it's not doing as much as the other one did. But it's a different look, a different feel. Now, I can blast this up a little bit harder if I want to maybe make it more pronounced. And let's try that. We're going to blast a lot of light there, more than I probably typically would. I want full power. We'll see what happens. Make her glow like an angel. You see the difference there? It's more pronounced on the hair. Now let's add the 4th light. This 4th light here is considered either a hair light or a backlight, depending on how I position it. I have it on a boom pole here. And if I put it on a boom pole, it's going to actually accent the top of her head, which is on a hair light. Now, if you're bald, it becomes a headlight. Okay, that was a bad joke. I want some separation for safety, so if it falls, which it shouldn't, I have sandbags and precautions, but if it was to fall, get tripped on, it's not going to fall on your person. That's liability, painful, and a mess. We don't want that. So it's going to fall, if it was to fall away from her. That's important in case something goes wrong. So we do have the hair light. It's going to come onto the hair, a little bit onto the shoulders, and then I'm going to take this light that was on her back, and I'm going to turn it into a background light just by turning it around, blasting it right onto the background. That'll create a little different look, some subtle variations on the gray background. So main light, most powerful light onto the subject. Other angle, got your reflector or a fill light. Then you can have a hair light or a backlight, or you could even have background light to create all your variations. So 3-point lighting. There's a lot of variations between moving parts. You might not even use a light. You can change the angle, you can change it, you can break up the rules. But the key is to make an attractive, very nice 3-dimensional style lighting. Background lights are variations, lots of things you can put in your arsenal. Hopefully that's helpful. We'll see you next time on Better Picks in a few clicks. Thanks for watching Better Picks in just a few clicks. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos on how to take your photography to the next level.